Attention bobsled riders! You will soon be embarking on a thrilling podcast down the icy slopes of the Matterhorn, so please remain seated, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the bobsled at all times. Auf Wiedersehen!
Hello, yodelers. We are the Matterhorn Yodelers. I'm your host today, Japheth, with
Jackie.
And
I'm Joe Rohde. Hear my earrings jingle here.
and we also have
Father Yodeler.
And today we are going to discuss cues or being in line.
Only things Disney fans really are like, oh yeah, we're gonna talk about the lines. Oh yes,
the most boring thing. But it really isn't the most boring thing because it is boring because you spend more time in it. You don't go to Disneyland to be
sometimes
in the line, but you will spend more time in a line than anything else.
Sometimes the queue's better than the attraction.
Really? So you think they might make money just
be
closing down all the rides, but the queues are all open?
I would be curious to hear what attractions, and you might tell us as we go through this journey as to what you think the queue is better than the attraction. I would be curious to hear that.
You've been called out.
I can only think of Disney World, and we're focusing.
I can only think of Paris, where it's you walk through the queue.
I think
I love Space Mountain in Paris.
Oh, boo! That's the worst queue.
I know.
That's like Batman dystopian.
So long I was saying, why don't they ever show us the queue? Why don't they ever show any pictures of the queue? I go there and I go, oh, chain link fence. Yeah, no wonder they don't show us the queue.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is I've got a list of queues and waiting areas. I've included the staging areas before you go on to the attraction.
So this is attractions, not just rides?
There are attractions such as Lincoln and meet and greets.
And meet and greets. Okay.
Because that is an experience right there.
Sure.
And it is a listed attraction there on the list.
And we have not been briefed on this before, so our answers will be genuinely
spontaneous,
and there's no. So what it is, it's kind of a queue discussion. Like you're in line with your friends or family, and you kind of go, "This line's better than this line," and somebody will be like, "No, I don't think so." And so we'll have Jackie, Peter, and Father Yodeler. They'll vote which one, and if there's a disagreement, the person who on the bottom half can try to convince someone real quickly why that attraction is bad or is good.
We're going to have a lot of debates here.
Are these Disneyland, Disney World?
These are just Disneyland attractions.
Just Disneyland.
Just Disneyland, because there's 50 attractions.
We can do a Disney World discussion later.
So I've grouped.
It's not California Adventure.
No California Adventure.
Okay,
just Disneyland.
Okay.
All right.
And I've grouped them based on their lands together. So there's 4 groups. The 4 groups are broken down as such. The first group is Adventureland, Frontierland, and Main Street. And then the next one's Fantasyland, since they're all kind of very similar and they should have their own battle.
In Fantasyland.
There is. Then you have Tomorrowland and Star Wars Land, kind of sticking with the space theme. And then you have Bayou Country, New Orleans Squares, and kind of Toontown right there.
Okay, that's kind of...
And so the winner of each of those groups will face against each other. But before that, each group I will name 2 attractions, and they will vote on which one is better. And each side will try to convince each other if there is a split to try to get a more unanimous kind of consensus on which one is better. It's kind of like the Hot Wheel race cars, where you have the 2 cars race and they go down and the winner goes on to face the next person or the next car. And so we're going to get to the consensus of what is the best queue, and then along the way we'll get why. All right?
Okay.
So the first group, are you guys ready?
We're ready.
Yeah.
First group is Adventureland, Frontierland, and Main Street. So we're gonna have, you're gonna have the boat launch to Pirate's Lair against Mark Twain Riverboat Columbia Dock. Which area is better?
Well, the Columbia riverboat, dog. There's shade
There's shade.
and benches. There's benches in there too.
Wait, Pirates of the Caribbean?
No, not Pirates.
The
Pirates
boat launch
Lair,
to
the
Pirate Lair,
island.
to Tom Sawyer's Island.
Oh.
The rafts.
The rafts.
Oh, okay. I was
I'm
like,
not talking about Raffi the
I thought you
lawyer.
were
I'm talking about
the
rafts.
Pirates, the attraction. And I was like, are you crazy? Yeah, the ferry.
Agreed.
Yeah.
That
Agreed.
one's a
The
pretty easy. It's
Riverboats,
it looks
Columbia.
prettier. It's
Yeah.
It's more interesting by far.
Okay, so Mark Twain Riverboat Columbia Dock moves on, and it's going to face Disneyland Railroad at Main Street.
Ooh, I'd pick Main Street.
Main Street.
The railroad.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Railroad
there's a
station.
lot more to look at that.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot more benches.
And there's benches, and it's
It's
a slower pace.
Yeah.
Like when you go up there, you're more relaxed, I feel.
However, if you're traveling by wheelchair, avoid it.
yeah.
Yeah,
There's
Because
no
there
ramp.
is no ramps up
There is
there.
no ramp,
It's classified as a historical building.
meaning I can get out of the rules.
Yep.
California.
That's the only thing wrong with that. If you're in a wheelchair, avoid that because you're going to have a real challenge.
All right. Goodbye, Mark Twain Riverboat. We're on Disneyland Railroad. Moves on. It's going to face Thunder Mountain. So Thunder Mountain, you have that rock, and then you got that like
It's only the
mining query.
music that makes Thunder better, in my view.
the music, huh?
I'd say the music.
I
in
can't
the
think
queue.
of the music there unless I'm in like the going up the stairs, and then you got the like hillbilly prospector going here.
The wildest ride in the wilderness.
I don't mind the Thunder Mountain queue.
I
but
don't mind it, but if it's you get kind of a museum feel of the but there's no excitement necessarily that comes with the railroad one.
Come on, you can see Tony Baxter in the town. You see his portrait in there. You know.
Yeah.
Are you talking about at the Main Street?
No,
No,
Thunder.
at Big Thunder.
Where's it at?
He's
in
in
the
one of the
town.
houses.
One of
There's a
the
little
miniature
there's
houses.
a little
Yeah.
picture with him in it because that's his story is associated.
Have
with
you
it.
seen
Okay.
it while you've been in line?
SEA.
Have you seen it while you've been online, or
I think it was
only
while
when
I was
you're
on the
online?
ride. I think I only saw it when I was on the ride.
When you ride it and when you're
Okay.
coming in
Yeah,
at the end.
At the very
Okay.
end. Yeah,
Okay.
I think I've only
So
seen it. When I was on
so
it.
that doesn't count because it's
fair,
not
fair.
in the queue.
That's fair.
This is
I
hard.
would probably say I'm gonna be the first to say it's gonna be the railroad station.
The railroad
Yeah,
station.
I think
All
that
right.
one's better.
Jackie, what are you saying?
That's hard.
I go for the music, so I'm going for Thunder.
Thunder's music.
You're the tiebreaker.
I know.
I just think I think the atmosphere is better
I
on the
think
train
I'm gonna lean
station.
towards Thunder.
Is it the train station atmospherics, or is it the music that's bleeding over from Main Street in there?
I think it's just a combination of everything, because it transports you, it takes you into that time period. Very similar to what Big Thunder does, but I would rather hang out at the Main Street train station than the queue of Big Thunder Mountain.
I totally disagree.
I think I'm gonna go Thunder.
Okay.
How about I'll throw this out here. Does the waiting area really promote or get you excited for the attraction
No.
at the train station, or does it at Thunder?
Well, I think at Thunder it does just because the ride splashes right in front
It's
of you.
roaring
you
right
know?
past you.
Yeah,
The
it's
sound
fun to
effects
see
of
it.
it.
I think
It's-
in
The
terms
only
of,
bonus of the Main Street queue is it's right off of Main Street, and
but the thing is, like, you don't ride the Main Street. You don't ride the train to be like, I'm gonna go ride the train. Yeah.
Yeah.
do.
No, you don't.
It's a more authentic historical
Right.
experience.
Right.
It's like walking into history as opposed to Thunder Mountain. It's for the adrenaline. And I think
Sure.
the queue does a good job for the
Yeah.
adrenaline.
All right. So what are you at, Jackie?
Thunder.
She said
Thunder.
Thunder.
Okay, so Thunder moves on.
Thunder.
It was a fight.
Thunder Mountain.
So Thunder Mountain versus the Enchanted Tiki Room waiting area.
Oh, Tiki Room. Tiki Room.
I
I'll
like
I'll
the
bite that
Tiki
bullet
Room.
right off.
I'm a sucker for the tiki room.
You know, I would vote Thunder just because I've had some miserable experiences waiting forever.
Really?
For
What's
the
a miserable experience you've experienced there?
I used to go as a child during the summer months, and it was really hot.
They didn't
really
have
hot.
the tropical.
Things
feeling
weren't
there.
grown up as much as
You got some little T trauma there.
yeah. So yeah, no, I'm going Thunder.
Thunder for a father.
No, I love hearing the stories of the gods, and you sit there. You can have a Dole Whip on
The Dole Whip is a big plus.
It's like I'll mobile order the Dole Whip
I
because
can
that's
sit
you.
in there
And then that's when I do tiki. Is when I get my Dole Whip. Is when, and then I
It's-
can enjoy it.
For Disneyland, I'm. It's tough for me because I worked at the
Sure.
Tiki Room at Disney World. So when I go to the Disneyland one, I don't like it.
Yeah,
Ian,
the one
I
at
like the-
Disney World queue is really nice.
The
It's
tiki room
covered
queue
in-
Yeah.
at Disneyland has a bathroom.
I
There you
don't think I've
It
ever
does.
used
It
it.
does.
It does
it's
have
a
a
single
bathroom.
stall bathroom,
Yeah.
Never.
which are rare. So
That's an enhanced
Yeah.
attribute. I had no idea about
I had
that.
no idea.
I love the
Unless Jackie just found like a random spot and she's like, "It's a bathroom right there," and you're like, "It's not a bathroom.
no,
that's a tiki
See
god,
that bush?
and you
You
just peed on it."
see the big tree there. You just go right behind it. Pop a squat. Single stall.
All right, Tiki Room moves on. Tiki Room versus Jungle Cruise.
Ooh.
It's getting harder. We're on our last 3 battles for this group 1.
I would prefer Tiki Room over Jungle Cruise queue.
The Dole Whip's gonna win me over
I
on
don't
this
like
one.
the problem with the Jungle Cruise queue is I don't like that you have to go upstairs and then come back down.
The stairs are tough. I think the theming's amazing there,
That's
though.
what I was gonna say.
If you're
I
going to get
was-
pumped up for a ride,
That's a
gonna
good
do
one.
it.
You got the audio where they're telling jokes on the audio while you're listening to that
It is an
old-
excellent-
but I'm not
Excellent.
paying attention to the audio because I'm going up and down these stairs.
It's true.
Try
There
it
are
when you're
stairs.
carrying a child that's asleep.
Yeah.
Not fun.
It's not.
It's, no.
But like, there's great theming, especially upstairs. Like, there's a lot of reference to CSEA. That's the second time I've referenced them this episode.
Peter's on a kick.
I am. This is gonna. C's
Well, we're in
making a comeback.
Adventureland, of course.
Okay, I'm going to Tiki.
Dad's
I want-
Tiki.
I want my
Jackie's
Dole Whip.
Tiki.
I'm gonna go Jungle Cruise.
Jungle
I think
Cruise.
Jungle Cruise
Peter's
is
going
better.
against the groove on some of these.
I am.
I based on the placement, obviously I picked Jungle Cruise over Tiki on this one. Okay, this is another tough one. We're on Main Street. Jungle Cruise. Oh, excuse me.
No,
Tiki
Tiki
Room.
Room.
Excuse me. Tiki Room versus Great Moments with Lincoln.
Oh, Lincoln.
Yeah.
It's AC.
I don't know.
You've got the museum to look at.
Yeah, that's I spend way more time there, so I'm gonna say Great Moments.
Yeah.
I spend way more time in that
Yep.
area.
It's reverent.
It
It's
is.
like the most
It's-
reverent place you'll
It's
go
the
at
best
Disney.
place to take your
It's-
kid to nap.
Air conditioning.
It's so cool. And then
It's
you're
just-
like,
I
and
wish-
then you're going into a place for a seat. You're like, let us observe
I
the
wish-
holiness of the seat and air
Well,
conditioning.
that's the thing. I wish there were more seats. I would say there's not enough.
You want a seat before the seat?
Yes.
I'm fine sitting on the floor there.
Yeah, that's the only place where I feel
Okay.
like I'm all right.
Because you feel like they clean the carpets properly there.
Yeah, they do. That's like the one place that they do. Dawn at the Haunted Mansion, that's for sure.
It's not mission space, so that you don't have to.
Right.
Well, you sit on the part where they throw up on Mission Space.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get a vote on Great Moments.
Oh man.
Come on, Peter.
Great moments
Oh,
are
great
Tiki Room.
moments.
I don't know. I really like the Tiki Room one.
I like Tiki Room, but
I'll say Lincoln because like there is a good build up to the actual attraction. It's not just
There's a pre-show.
There is a pre-show, and I do like the Capitol building
Model there.
Model there, like that's really nice. And they also brought
I like the virtue statues.
The virtue
Every time I look
statue,
at them,
that's
every
what-
time
that's
I'm
what I
like,
was about to say.
I would
My-
love for them to sell those.
My favorite piece is the Abraham Lincoln portrait.
Portraits on
That
the
is
backside.
just gorgeous.
Yeah.
It is just a gorgeous portrait of Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah. So for those things, I'm gonna say Lincoln.
All right, so Lincoln
Versus
versus
Indy.
Indiana Jones.
Well, the
They're
way
so
it was originally presented, where you
No,
actually
reality
stood
or
in a
objective. No,
line.
reality. Just what it is now. Just
I mean, probably Indiana
It's Indy.
Jones.
It's Indy. It's considered one of the best designed
Yeah.
cues Disney has ever created.
They
I
ruined
mean,
it with the fast pass delay. On
I
it.
agree.
You don't spend any time
I agree.
in that section. That's just
Fast
really
Pass
like
ruined that
exciting.
queue. They need to figure out another solution for Fast
Yeah,
Pass
they
there.
do.
Because the current solution, like, it's not a bargain for the people in Fast who use it.
oh yeah, because you're just bypassing the outside queue.
queue.
Yeah.
So I vote against Indy because if we're talking about today, they've ruined it. They have
That's
made
fair.
it obsolete.
And a lot of the interactive is not working.
I don't even know because I have to run past it in order to keep up, and I don't have people
Well-
yelling behind me.
Oh yeah, so many
Hurry
people
up.
are yelling at you.
Yeah, I know, right?
Either that or
No,
they're passing
you feel
me.
the pressure of like the teenagers that are like getting up on your tail, and you're like, "I'm going the fast I can."
Oh, you're people pleasing.
Yeah, you can
Stop and go around, go around. That's fine.
I can wait behind one more person. I'm a party of two. They're gonna pull me in front of you anyway.
It was designed for slow pace,
It was designed.
and now
It's rushed. You're
you
rushed
rush
through.
right through.
You're not wrong. You're
and
not
so
wrong.
I'm sticking with Lincoln.
Great moments of Lincoln for Father Yodeler. How about
That's-
you, Jackie?
I'm gonna do Indy.
Indy.
Man, I don't.
Up to Peter.
Man, I don't want to be in this position.
Feel like you're making a sacrilege. Like
I feel like I am. I feel like
If it was the 1990s Indy, I would vote Indy.
and if
Yeah.
I take a
Hands
look at it,
down.
they don't even show all the videos anymore.
no.
It's just the safety spiel in that room now, and so it's like.
And I'm mad because I still haven't seen the Eeyore parking sign.
Man, I have never seen that either. I look.
You have to have a flashlight.
the cast member right there always has one. You just
Yeah.
ask them, and if most of them will just be like, yeah,
I
there
want
it
to
is.
find it myself.
Have-
It's like someone teaching you how to do a
You should
Rubik's
just bring a
cube.
flashlight.
Have you had them pointed out to you?
Yeah.
Well, I was
Oh.
next to somebody that asked. and,
Oh.
it was convenient. Like, oh, okay, yeah.
I would have been like, no, I refuse.
And there are some cast members that do refuse to be like, sorry, I don't have a flashlight.
I always
on me.
miss the one at
And then he
Winnie
like
the
busts out his
Pooh.
flashlight and he's like, all right, so where's Peter at?
You know what? Because of Father Yodeler made an excellent point that like you don't really get to enjoy the queue in its grandeur like you used to.
Yeah, you basically run up to the point where it's no better than the Incredible Coaster, you know.
Right. Yeah. I'm sure we'll go Lincoln.
Whoa!
Wow.
I didn't think I would. I
Crazy.
didn't think, but you put it like, yeah, you made an excellent argument.
I think it was a good final battle for Group 1. Group 1, our winner is Great
Lincoln.
Moments with Lincoln.
Wow. Who would have thought
Who would
that?
have thought that?
I didn't
I
see
wouldn't
that.
have thought that first going
Let's
into
be
it.
honest. If it was any other family, they would not choose Lincoln.
We'd be like, what?
What's
Lincoln?
Lincoln? Yeah. I was like, it's just our family.
Where it's like, I have to ride Lincoln before I'm like,
Yes.
my last trip I didn't get to do Lincoln. I was like, man, something was missing. It just wasn't right.
Hey, I don't even care about going to see Lincoln. It's that
Yeah, it's
the queue.
Yeah,
I
it's
go
the
to.
areas. It's really.
Well, yeah, you have to stop by and look at the museum, like art shop.
I do like
and-
seeing the animatronic where Lincoln comes up and he's like, "Where am I?"
Are you
Like they just
serious?
pull pulled him out from the 1860s. I was just looking at battle plans, and here I am talking to you. All right.
It's like the Two Brothers song.
That one too. Yeah, because one of us died. Jackie's like, which one do I hate today? That's the one.
Which one am I going to make fight for the South?
They're the losers. All right. Group 2, Fantasyland. Here we go. So we have the...
Tinkerbell's Toy Shop.
No. Doesn't exist. All right. The cue for the story time for
Storybook?
the story where the princes are. What's that called?
Oh,
'Cause there's always a
Fantasy Fair.
Fantasy Fair. Yeah, the Fantasy Fair. There's no queue, but there is a line to get into it if you have to. And then that'll go against It's a Small World.
I'm going to
It's
go
a
Small World.
Small World's better.
I mean, there's...
It's kind of fun, the Fantasy Fair, because you get usually to see characters while you're
Waiting to get in.
waiting. So you've got some more interactivity there.
This is to get into the story time, not the actual princess area.
Oh, that's just standing out there.
Standing waiting because they form a line to get in.
Yeah, definitely. It's a small world.
Small
then.
World. Okay. Small World. All right.
Yeah.
Small World versus Storybook Land canal boats.
It's a small world.
Small World.
But I will say this. I'm just going to say Small World, but I would say this in defense of Storybook Land. I do like, even though, being in the queue sucks, but I do like how the features they have, like one of the original ticket booth buildings there, the lighthouse, and you got the storybook flowers. It looks really nice. I will say that much. But Small World wins this.
All right. The next is Small World versus Peter Pan's Flight.
One of the worst queues that's mostly in the
But
sun or out
if you
there.
have
But
the app, it's interactive. You
yes,
can see
you
Tinkerbell.
get to do that.
You see Tinkerbell.
So what do you
part
mean
of it.
interact with Tinkerbell? Explain that.
So there's a Disney Play app that you can do while waiting in line at certain attractions, and they have basically games. And if you complete I think for Peter Pan, you have to look for different symbols that are carved in the wood in the attraction, and once you do it, you get to
On the ride or in the queue
In the
area?
in the queue.
Okay.
And then if you find them all or whatnot, Tinkerbell shows up in a lantern in the queue.
Or you can just skip all that and just
And then and it's fun.
randomly activate it. So random people think that this is gonna happen.
So you try to do your fake Disney magic,
Yeah,
where
yeah,
you're like,
totally
oh,
do. You
make
and
Disney
boom, and then
magic.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Well, it's just fun to see kids go, oh, did you see Tinkerbell?
And it's funny too because you do it enough, eventually people are like, that guy up there's doing it. That guy over there.
yeah, you start spreading a rumor there it is, that guy right there. It's like some random guy eating a churro.
So for that reason alone, I'm going to go Peter Pan, which is crazy.
I
Yeah,
think
since
For
you
me to say, because I hate the Peter Pan.
I'll say this. I think
Over Small World.
regardless of the app game, I think Peter Pan does a better job of getting you excited to ride.
Oh, the
because-
excitement of seeing that pirate ship
Correct.
coming and you're right next to it. It is
Correct.
beautiful that way.
So one of my favorite pictures is with your son,
Right. And he's all
and he's
looking
leaning over, and it really encompasses the excitement of a kid about to ride.
He's all looking where the ship's going.
One of
So-
the best kid rides.
So the final 50 feet of that queue is fantastic.
Yes, because you're looking at the mural.
But
and-
other than that, I would vote for It's a Small World.
Small
'cause
World is just a modern. You're dealing with a mid-century modern style, and it's just
And
there's nothing in the queue. It's just
Yeah.
metal rails. It's a very
Yeah.
boring queue besides looking at the building.
but it's exciting because it moves. It moves.
moves.
Yeah.
Also-
but how come we don't ride this during the day?
also
We never ride it. We ride it at
in
night.
the morning or at
Because-
night.
Yes.
the Christmas lights are beautiful,
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
and the
Yeah.
music atmosphere amazing during the holiday season.
but no
If
one rides
we're-
it during the day. It's such a
well,
trap.
I think more people ride it during the day.
I'll
than
write
at
it in the
night.
day if it's a walk on.
Or I will just walk past the queue. That's yeah.
So
but
if
I would
it-
say there's no excitement for the actual attraction for that queue. So, I mean, they do have some topiaries there, which are nice and fun. But
if the clock strikes when you're there, that's entertaining.
yeah,
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I'd have to say Peter Pan.
Yeah, Peter Pan,
Because of
Peter
the
Pan.
last 50 feet. Getting to that 50 feet, I don't care what app you got, it's tough because it's so slow. But that last 50 feet is golden.
It boosts you and gets you into that
it
ride.
does.
It is golden.
Because nothing worse than you're in a queue and then you're just so drained that you get on the ride. You're like, I don't even want to ride this anymore. I hate this. All right. So Peter Pan wins. Peter Pan against Casey Jr. Circus Train.
Oh, Peter Pan.
Yeah.
There's nothing. There's
there's-
nothing there.
It's just switchback. Like,
I have
other than you get to see, like, the train.
I have enjoyed talking to the cast members at Casey Jr. than perhaps any other attraction. They've got time to just chat while you're waiting for the train to come around. And I've had some of the nicest conversations. So I'd say Peter Pan, but if you really like talking to cast members, Casey Jr. is the
But they
the
got
one
rid
to
of
go
the tree.
There was a tree.
They got rid of shade.
There was a big shade thing there, but
So.
it was probably the tree was dying or something.
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
probably.
They
All
do
right.
that.
So Peter Pan wins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we're off to Pixie Hollow meet and greet versus Peter Pan.
Oh. I like Pixie Hollow.
That's a long wait line.
I will say this: when they had their little Tinkerbell show with the water, and they had like lighting fixtures and things like that, that was really cool.
They not have that anymore?
No, they don't. They
well,
haven't
it's,
done that in
they're
years.
they're refurbishing, so
It's
who
there.
knows?
It's not working.
They've been
Oh.
refurbishing for a long time.
It's hard
so
to say because I haven't been through Pixie.
Well, because it hasn't been
Hollow
open.
forever.
It's like open. It was open last time we went to Disneyland as a family.
But yeah, the little like they had a little dancing fountain thing, like a
I just
little
like the
light up
like
thing in the
fountain
water.
area.
But it hasn't been anything.
it
so
moves.
I mean, if I had to choose, I would probably choose
it's a
Pixie.
walk by. You don't even think about it.
All right.
for
So
me.
are we
I'm
on
saying
to
Peter Pan?
Peter Pan?
I'm Peter
I'm
Pan.
Pixie.
You're Pixie.
Yeah.
All right. Are you fine with us moving on, or do you want to argue a little bit
No,
more
we
about
can
it?
move
Okay,
on. I'm
Peter.
not gonna-
This is not the hill to die on.
This is not
They're
the
all.
hill.
We're halfway through Fantasyland. So okay, Peter Pan versus Pinocchio's Daring Journey.
Peter
Pan.
Peter Pan. Okay.
You don't spend enough time in that queue.
The,
to really
the
enjoy
only
it.
the only thing good about Pinocchio's queue
It's
is
short.
usually a
Shaded.
short line,
And it's shaded.
and it's usually shaded.
That's
because
why I
it's a
kind of
short
ranked
line.
it a little bit higher.
I kind of like Pinocchio, but I'm not
But
going to die on this
I will
hill.
say the mural is better at Peter Pan than Pinocchio. Like the mural up against like the loading
Yes.
platform. So
Yeah.
Okay. Very similar. It's going to be Peter Pan versus Snow White's Enchanted Witch.
Snow
Snow
White. They've
White.
improved
they
it.
have.
I like
I
Snow
like
White.
Snow White a lot. I'm gonna go Snow White.
Snow
I'm
White.
Snow White.
I
Snow White.
I like the look at the cottage.
They've got the book, the the spell book.
you know, Snow White lives
You
in
have-
the dungeon now.
You have the evil
you know?
queen that pops out in the window.
Yeah.
I will still stick with Peter Pan because of that last 50 feet. But
Still magical.
yes,
I-
That
yeah.
magic's.
Sure.
All right. We'll move on with Snow White as the winner. We now have the Princess meet and greet at the Fantasy Fair versus Snow White.
I don't think I've ever been in that line.
I've been in that line, and it's only magical because usually there's other characters,
Like Merida.
Hanging around.
you know,
Merida.
Merida or Gaston's.
We've had
been there.
Aurora. We've had. I spent a lot of time right next to
So
that.
if you're into characters,
you're gonna see a lot.
you're gonna see a
below and through.
lot standing in that line.
I'm still going.
I'll go
Snow
Snow
White.
White.
Snow White. How about
Yeah.
you, Father Yodeler? Snow White.
For architectural reasons, I'd say Snow White.
All right, we're moving on to Snow White versus Dumbo the Flying Elephant. It's now shaded.
It's better than what it was.
You get to hear the music. Like
well, Father
Okay,
Yoda
that
would
is
dis-
my favorite music in the
I
park.
was just like, all right, so where are we
but
at
they
with
don't,
this?
But they don't play from the actual organ anymore.
No, but they've got it all recorded, and I'm
Sure.
okay with that. So even though I think they ruined it with the new queue,
You think that cue's better?
Well, you
I
got
think
a good
that-
photo op there because you can take a picture in the Dumbo. Like,
Not well. That's outside of the queue.
Yeah,
That's
that
at the
was-
end of
that
the
was
ride.
there
kind
anyway.
of part
You
of
can look
it.
at it, but it's not part of the queue experience.
That's usually like
that's
something
an
you do
exit.
after.
It's
Yeah,
like
it's an
like if
exit.
we're gonna talk about the after experience, the gift shop or the photo op. I think that experience is at the end.
I don't know.
I'm going to vote for Snow White.
Snow White.
Strangely enough.
I think it's Snow White. I mean, the
Yeah.
Peter Pan
Snow
queue,
White.
there's not. I mean, the Dumbo queue, there's nothing really.
Yeah, I'll agree. I'll go with Snow White.
Because in order to get to the organ, it's got to be super crowded.
yeah,
And nobody wants to wait in that line
Mm-hmm.
to look at an organ.
If I'm in
the-
Fantasyland in
looking
the
at the
afternoon,
organ is no
I'll
fun.
go
It's
in it
hearing
because
it.
it's got shade. The shade in there
Shade
is
is
the
good.
most appealing part if you're stuck in Fantasyland
yeah.
in the heat of the day. All right, so it sounds like Snow White moves on. Snow White versus Alice in Wonderland.
Snow White.
Snow White.
It's just there's like they have some features for Alice in Wonderland. They got
It's
the big
probably Snow White
mushroom
because you
and-
could throw the pennies in the.
There is a
quarters,
lot more fun to look at when you're in Alice in Wonderland because you got the teacups there, you got the Matterhorn there. Sometimes you got parade or characters
Yeah,
walking
that's like
by.
the bonus of Alice's.
Alice's line is self-managing. If
Yeah.
it pops out beyond its little
No one gets in it.
no one gets in it. You're really
So
never going to wait
generally the
longer
line
than
is,
25 or 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, moves along pretty nicely.
It's hard. I enjoy the environment.
That's the point at the end of this. It's a harder.
I enjoy the environment of it, and I would rather wait in Alice in Wonderland over Snow White.
I agree, and
So,
that's
maybe-
strange.
Maybe I'll go.
There
Wow.
is no theming.
I'm not at all interested in the area in front of the queue area that you wait in for.
I'm gonna go
it.
Alice. I just
I
enjoy
mean,
the
That
environment.
blows me that like you guys
it's
are like,
more enjoyable than Snow White, as far as I.
If both lines are equal, like say 40 minutes,
The
40
wait is
minutes
the
Snow
same.
White, 40 minutes at
I don't think I've
Alice.
ever
But
seen Snow White.
we're not talking about the attraction. We're talking about the queue.
I know.
And the
And
waiting is
what-
part of the
Right.
queue experience.
So if you're waiting in a line, which one would you rather wait? Alice line or Snow White line? And me personally, I'd probably do Alice.
what's the factor, the one point that pushes you over into Alice?
I think it's outside and the surroundings is so kinetic.
Ooh, kinetic
It's
outside.
kinetic,
I
yeah.
love it, Jackie.
Some-
Well said.
some
All right, what do you got,
buzzwords.
Father Yodeler? What,
I'm kind of in the same agreement. However,
And
there's
you also get
shade
easy
there.
access.
Father Yodeler speaking.
I'm sorry,
Just
I'm
wait.
sorry.
He is speaking.
No, I agree. There's just something about the excitement of having the teacups there. The outside of the attraction is part of the queue. I mean, with the vehicles moving through from the second level down to the first level, it's fun to watch that. More fun than kind of standing there looking at rocks or stone in Snow White, which is a lot of the time
at
you're
the
looking at.
cottage.
Well, that's if
The
you get
mural. It's about the mural.
again. There you're looking at the last 50 feet of it. Then you're comparing it to Peter Pan.
Well,
in which
you also
case,
got the
I'd
dungeon.
rather
Snow
go to
White's
Peter
dungeon.
Pan. But
Okay, so Peter Snow, you're Alice, you're Alice.
Alice.
Or we Alice goes forward.
Alice goes forward.
I'm curious because you've always been about Peter Pan. Does Peter Pan supersede Alice here? I'm kind of curious where Peter Pan meets its end with you.
it's really close there. If you're talking about the last 50 feet, I'd rather be in Peter Pan
Okay.
than in Alice. But for the total journey that you're in line, I'd rather be in Alice.
Okay. All right, we'll move on. It's Alice versus King Arthur's Carousel.
Okay, the music is really pulling on me here, but the queue itself
It's non-existent.
But what's the pump up before? Like you're in there quick. You're like, we're gonna get in there. There's kind of an adrenaline rush. That's why I've kind of pushed it a little bit further.
There's also the excitement of like, which horse do you want to pick?
Yeah.
There's the music.
There's that.
But
The
I also
music
feel
is-
bad as an adult now.
Because you kicked a kid off. You're
No.
like, this is Mary Poppins.
I'm taking off.
Because I try to get the Mary Poppins horse, but then like all the other kids want it, and I go, okay, you can have it. And like a part of me inside of dies, but I'm like,
I'm
oh,
a 31-year-old woman, and I die when I don't get my Mary Poppins.
I didn't ride on a horse.
What's wrong? I didn't ride Mary
My
Poppins.
vacation was ruined because of 4-year-old
True Disney adulting at its finest there.
I don't make a big deal out
You
of it.
don't. You just cry
I
silently.
just silently go, oh.
And for that, Alice moves forward. I just can't do it. All right, so what are we thinking? King
Okay,
Arthur.
so audibly, I'm going to go carousel, but for visual and audible, I go for Alice because the visuals on carousel, to me, you're right in the most horrible part of Fantasyland where there's so much traffic right there, right up against
I
the
don't
queue.
even think about anything
No,
about that. I am
I
in there and I'm
don't.
looking at the ride.
I'm looking at the horses. I'm looking at the pictures.
Yeah, it's
the
my first time. Like,
story.
because when you're on the ride, you're not sitting like, let me look at the same picture over and over. You're like, this is your one chance to see the different murals going on.
Right.
Yes.
And Peter's all about the murals, apparently.
I
Like,
love being a good mural. You know, you got that one. You got the train ride. You know, with the dinosaurs, the Grand Canyon.
I'm still on Alice.
you're on Alice. What are you at, Jackie?
I'm going to go Alice because I'm
Alice.
sad.
She's sad about Mary Poppins.
I love it.
She's too old for the carousel now. She can't enjoy it
I
anymore.
can't push a little kid off a horse.
You want to fight? Bet you don't even lift, bro.
I'm 6.
Okay. So we have two Alice. Peter, you're with the murals and carousel.
I'm with the carousel.
I would have gone with Peter on this one. But I'm getting more sentimental towards it because my daughter loves the carousel.
I think it's.
So there's a different emotion
I don't
to
even like
it.
the carousel. I don't. I do not enjoy the carousel. Usually, I sit out.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it because it spins?
That's part of it.
I can't handle it.
I don't. I can't.
My equilibrium
I
cannot
got a weak
take.
I have a way weak stomach. Like
It's his ear. It's the equilibrium.
whatever, you know. I just.
He's
But
weak.
but
We
if
can-
if I'm picking which one I would rather
Jeez,
go
Jackie.
for, that's the one.
Sorry.
He's weak.
Whatever.
Jeez.
Whatever.
I bet that was a joke.
I've been called worse, so
That was just a funny
Can't
joke.
even hold his carousel.
nope.
That's a funny sibling joke.
It is. It is. Okay. Talking
How
about
dare you make fun of me when we make fun of you every single episode?
You guys stare me up all the time.
Come on, Jackie, let's go into the woods.
Don't
All
worry,
right.
Jackie. Ezra will be old enough to ride the Mary Poppins.
And then you can kick a kid off. Be like, my kid is gonna ride.
It's his first time.
Would you kick Mary off of her horse?
No, never. It's her horse.
All right. Well, speaking of spinning rides, it's Alice in Wonderland versus Mad Tea Party. Same atmospherics, very close,
Well,
but they're different.
you kind of get blocked on some of the because of the building
You do.
for
Yeah.
the teacups. You don't see everything as much. So I'm going for Alice.
I agree. Alice.
I was gonna say the teacup. This is nuts. This is crazy. That, like, my point of view, I think teacups is a far more interesting queue to be in. You got the lanterns. Yeah, you can see it
But you
from. You can see it. I know. You can see it. All right. You can see it. But like, I think the shade is better there. I feel like I get more excited for the teacups than I do Alice waiting in that line. Because, like, are you excited to ride Alice because you hear the teacup music? Or is it that, like, I'm excited.
It's
right
just
it
it's,
about
it's
the-
the bleed over. It can't help it. You
both.
can't separate it. It's part of the experience. And so yeah, they share that same experience.
Well, you have
But with
easy
Alice, you also get the
access.
Matterhorn and the monorail
and
going
the
through.
Alice.
And
yeah.
characters
Caterpillars
walk
going through
up
it.
and down that
Man,
road.
I am like obviously like
Parade
we
goes
found
down
something
there.
that obviously I don't get along with you guys at all.
We
is
really
huge
like
here.
those chains that they have separating you. Those chains are beautiful. Not like the chain link fence at
Have
Space
you
Mountain.
seen the welding on these chains?
My goodness.
That's where we're going.
I
here,
mean,
folks.
I obviously put Mad Tea Party ahead
Right,
because
right.
as we go
So
further
me
deep,
and
you're
you.
getting my list of
Me
what
and you, we're on the same length.
fairly
here.
similar. All right. So Alice, dark horse right here, against the Matterhorn bobsled.
Oh, Matterhorn.
Matterhorn.
Those
Matterhorn.
yodelers. I love the yodeling music. I love being in that queue. It's pretty boring otherwise, but the yodelers.
I like
Do
looking
it
at the
for me.
shields.
The shields.
Yes,
Yeah.
the shields.
I think
Matterhorn.
I think when you
wins.
go around the mountain, you see the bobsleds, you see people going down for the final splashdown. There's that anticipation of like, oh, I'm going for this.
You're watching it in motion.
It really puts you into it. You feel like Swiss Alps.
Yeah.
It feels like it.
It doesn't it feel cooler there?
It
does.
does.
I don't know what it is.
Well,
it just
it's
feels.
because the mountain's so tall, it's blocking out the sun. So
They do have fans, so that may
Yeah.
help.
Yeah.
They have fans in Jungle Cruise, but I don't feel it. Still feels
And-
more humid there.
and it's got a single rider line. You know,
Yeah.
that's always a positive.
And if you're party of two, you jump
No,
up in that
you want to
line.
be in the line to hear the yodelers.
I
Who
just see that on
likes
Price is
yodeling?
Right, where the guy goes up the hill. It's like,
oh, from Price is Right.
Yeah.
all right. So this is the last one: Matterhorn bobsleds versus Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Yodelers.
Father Yoder says Matterhorn.
Kind of.
Probably
I'm
Matterhorn.
I'm going Mr. Toad. I like the Mr. Toad
Why?
statue. I
It's
like
very
the
nice.
little
It's
garden
good.
courtyard area.
That's why I kind of put it so far out there.
I like Mr. Toad.
I do
That's-
too.
That's,
I do too.
That's
but
one line I don't mind waiting in.
It's one
it
of the better
self-manages
ones.
It
itself too.
self-manages.
Once it's completely full, it won't go more than
It's not
25,
gonna
30
go,
because
but-
it is way too busy to extend it out.
There's not a lot to the queue, but I like it. Just like Matterhorn, there's not a lot to the queue, but I don't know.
I like the garden too. I'm with you. That's why I had it at the end of this group. But the Matterhorn.
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 Where does Peter Pan end on this for you with this whole group? Where would you have picked?
Visually, I think it might have made it all the way to the end.
Okay, because of the magic.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something I just didn't take into consider as a variable is how much magic it can provide. Okay, so Group 2 winner is the Matterhorn bobsled. Well, not that we're
Thank
biased.
goodness. That would be awkward if it wasn't.
Oh please, we've bashed the Matterhorn plenty on this podcast.
I think we've made it like the worst mountain. I think I've like
bulldozed
bulldozed it
it?
left and
Oh.
right, left and right. Okay, Group 3 now. We're in Tomorrowland and Star Wars. We're gonna go with the Disneyland Railroad in
And where?
in Tomorrowland
Oh, that's the
versus
worst.
the Disneyland monorail.
Well, I'll take
monorail.
monorail. You're
Okay.
up above.
You have a great view of the Matterhorn
above
and
it
the
all.
submarine.
I agree. The
Yeah, that's an easy.
That's easy.
Tomorrowland's is just the
Oh,
wor-
it's the
it
worst.
just saps the energy
Well,
out
the
of
thing is,
you.
nobody
It's like
gets-
a wraith. It's like
Nobody
You're like,
gets
"Ugh."
nobody gets off at the Tomorrowland
No
station.
one.
So
No.
like there might only be 10 people in front of you, but if one
It's-
person cuts off, you're not getting on that train. And
It's
so
better
like-
just to go to Main Street.
Yeah, just to walk.
Yeah.
I'll just walk. I'm not going to that because then you have the fumes and the exhaust,
Yeah.
and you're just like, oh, I hate Autopia.
Yeah.
And our gumball rally, we were stuck there for so long because the train was broken down.
We're
At
like,
least
is it
we
showing
weren't
up?
and there was
on
no
it.
cast member there to tell us that the train
No.
was broken.
You
Or,
would think they
like-
would have a digital screen saying like broken down. No,
Nobody
nothing.
came. Nobody came and told us that no train was going to come for the next 4 hours.
People
Oh,
stuck on
because
there.
somebody had a stroke. Oh, you know.
Sensitive. All right. Monorail versus Finding Nemo submarine voyage.
Monorail.
Monorail.
That is so slow, and
The
there's nothing to
submarine
look
is
at.
awful.
Nothing to look
Monorail.
at.
Not even the lagoon can't.
No.
You don't even
You
see the
don't even
lagoon.
get
You get a
access to
better
it.
view of the lagoon on the monorail.
But-
queue.
You do.
too. All
or
right.
by the Matterhorn.
Or yeah. All right. So Monorail moves on. It's gonna go against Autopia.
Oh, monorail.
Monorail.
I hate the Autopia queue.
Yeah,
I think it's one of the worst queues.
I have negative feelings about
It
that.
has those false hope
Yeah.
corners, and you're just like, oh, I hate this.
It's awful.
All right.
Yeah.
So Monorail moves on to battle against Astro Orbiters.
Oh, that's horrible. Monorail wins.
It's not bad if you do it during the fireworks show.
Are you talking about the
Well,
queue,
are you
or are you
talking
talking about the ride?
or the
No.
fireworks.
No, the
Oh,
queue.
waiting in queue and you watch the fireworks while you're waiting.
It's not bad.
Okay, so for like a 15-minute period, this is the queue.
So is it better to have you tried watching the fireworks from the monorail queue?
That'd be kind of scary. That how loud.
Well, usually the
Monorail is.
fireworks are like behind the Matterhorn, so
It could be a problem.
Did they
I
even
don't
run
know.
the monorail?
No,
during
the monorail's closed.
Yeah, the monorail's
night.
closed
Ah.
during fireworks.
That'd be scary to be in there. Like I feel it would echo really hard in there. It wouldn't be very pleasant.
Right.
My vote's monorail.
Monorail's making a run for it.
know.
Yeah.
All right, Monorail versus the Millennium Falcon Smugglers Run.
Millennial Falcons.
Falcon.
Yeah, I mean, you
It's
go in-
very immersive.
You're waiting inside the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
Well, part of it. Yeah.
Part of it,
You're
yeah.
also on the outside of it, looking down at it.
But you
I
get-
felt everything up
before.
before that was kind of like dystopic brutalism. It's just very barren. It's something I wouldn't want to get stuck in. I've only been on it once, but we had a fast pass, and that's why I was like, I don't know how painful that queue could be.
It can be pretty bad.
It can be painful. You don't want to be in that line unless it's like 20 minutes.
That's what it felt like. I feels like this line feels
It's
like
not
it
bad.
could
Once-
suck the life out of me.
It's just, as soon as you
The
get
Millennium
past the
Falcon?
merge, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
until you get to the last bit, and then that magic can really transport you. Like
Well,
I'm gonna fly.
As soon as you get past Doc Ondar, not Doc Ondar.
When
What's
you
his
see
name?
the top
The
of the
animatronic,
when
what's
you
his
see
name?
the top of the Millennial Falcon.
No, past that.
Past that.
It's got you the little pre-show area.
Okay.
When they tell you to, okay, now go down this hallway, that's when you get on the Millennium Falcon. So
Yeah.
from that point on is great. Before that, if you're stuck, it's not pleasant. Although it's cool if you're a Star Wars fan, you're looking at the details of the Millennium Falcon. If you're a Star Wars nerd, it is a great place to be.
But I
But
think Falcon.
I think Falcon wins.
Falcon beats the monorail. Okay, Falcon versus Space Mountain.
Space Mountain.
Oh, no way.
I
Millennium Falcon.
love the
the
queue
only
for
good
Space
part
Mountain.
of the queue is like the
The
loading.
the
area.
load area.
When you're in the loading bay,
Yeah.
Really for Space Mountain?
Yeah.
the queue outside is painful.
Oh,
and
outside,
if you're
but-
waiting, like a fast pass, you're stopped in front and seeing all the fast pass people go by you. It just kills the morale.
I don't know if I would ever do standby unless it's a walk on for space.
Oh, I did that
I
with one
don't
of our
do
races.
stand
Oh, that was
by.
hard.
I only do bus.
I look down at people who are stopped at the front door who've been waiting 40 minutes longer than
Step
me.
aside, little child. Let me get on the horse.
That's the lady that kicked me off my horse.
That was.
Just the adults with a horse.
Now I love the
That loading bay.
Once you get into the mountain, Space Mountain, I
even
love
say-
all that. I
I
get.
I don't
I get-
like the narrow passageway. I don't think that's good.
I feel it. It makes it feel like
feels
I'm
endless.
there.
Claustrophobic.
Super claustrophobic. It's super endless. I'm like, is this the end? Is
So you get
this
some
the
false
end?
false
And
hopes.
you feel like you're in the endless like loop, and you're like,
Oh,
"Get me
no.
out of here! Get
I
me
get
out of
the
here!"
total 1960s sci-fi.
Now,
I'm
if
there.
we were talking about like the old Space Mountain where they had like a little movie and things like that, I would say Space Mountain ranks higher. But since they redid it and made it so like
Yeah, I would go Falcon.
Falcon wins.
Yeah.
Falcon beats. I said Space Mountain's better because that loading bay area is.
The loading bay area is
It makes up.
great.
It's the magic, and
Yes.
it like you are getting pumped.
And
And
how
like,
they manage the queue, you normally aren't waiting in the halls that long.
and that's where they took me into like. That's where I was like Space Mountain's a little bit better than Millennium, but again. I've only done Fast Pass on Millennium, but I remember walking through and going, "This could be painful."
It can be.
All right, next is Star Tours versus versus Millennium Falcon. Sorry,
Star Tours.
Millennium.
Star Tours.
Millennium.
Millennium Falcon over Star
I'll go
Tours.
Falcon.
I'm
Falcon
going
over-
Star Tours.
Okay, Peter, try to convince them Star Tours.
Like, I think Star Tours does an amazing job of instantly transporting you to another world. Like, the Millennium Falcon, like, okay, I'm in a mechanic shop and there's the Millennium Falcon and you get to go inside. And that's cool. Don't get me wrong. I love that whole experience. But I love the fact that, like, you get instantly, you feel like you've transported into the Star Wars world just from walking into a doorway, and you're instantly there, and you instantly see R2-D2, C-3PO, you hear the chime, doo-doo-doo-doo, and then you go through, you can even see Captain Rex is there, and then you got the other droids and the interaction in the queue. Like, the queue is more enjoyable. There's more happening in the queue. You see the shadows of the people walking through customs, you know? Like, that's entertainment in the queue.
I've had too much torture in that middle room.
The
switchback?
security room?
Where you're seeing the shadows of them walk by. I have just been tortured in there too much.
I think what the fault of this one is I've done it too much to where
It's a burnout.
it's a burnout.
If
for
they
me.
if they blew that wall out and made it all part of the first room you enter there,
What do you mean, blow the spaceship? You want to blow the spaceship?
yeah.
What?
No, I'm saying you walk on
Behind the
other
spaceship.
side of the spaceship to where you still see the spaceship rather than just being in
Oh,
this
I thought you were saying
room.
like blow out that wall where the spaceship is. I'm like, what are you talking about?
No.
Take down.
That's like the wow factor of the queue is
Get rid of the
seeing
gold guy.
spaceship.
He's annoying. All he does is whine.
No. Keep them. Just get rid of the wall so you are now on the other side of the spaceship.
Okay.
That would make it better. Because you just feel like
He
you're
wants
trapped.
a really skinny spaceship.
You feel like you're in the, I'm in the luggage loading area.
So the
It's better
belly.
than the
airport.
repair bay that it used to be. I think it's an improvement than what was there before.
All right.
Like, we're repairing droids.
Are we still Millennium for you two?
They're-
Yes.
they're
Okay.
Millennium.
I thought Peter did a compelling argument. Okay, the last is Millennium Falcon versus Star Wars Rise of the Resistance.
Rise of the
That's the
Resistance.
last one?
That's the last one.
You didn't do Buzz?
Oh, I guess I forgot Buzz.
Buzz
Does Buzz
pretty
is
good.
Buzz better than Millennium Falcon?
Buzz is really nice because it moves fast.
Well, that's
Take
a
that in consideration.
factor
What
of
would-
length of line, not so much.
I would.
But that is a fact that's part of the experience of the queue.
If you see a
is
long
the
line for
movement.
Buzz or you see a long line for Millennium Falcon, which one are you going to be drawn to?
Buzz.
Buzz.
Just
That's
saying.
why I'm just saying it is part of the experience.
If it's busy, I'm going to Buzz because it's going to move fast. You're going to get on there and so on. And I think
And it's got an animatronic.
they got animatronics. The paintings on the wall all match. It all works.
Does it get you like ready for the experience?
But
like
I'm voting
Millennium?
for Millennium over
Millennium that
I
one.
think Millennium
Millennium's
over
better,
Buzz.
but it's an interesting
I just wanted. I
discussion.
forgot about it, and you're right. That's why I threw it out there to see if it does compete, because
You-
it would have made it towards Space Mountain
The
You
for
got
sure.
animatronic in Falcon.
In Falcon, you get see the outside of the Millennium Falcon and the inside
Yeah.
in the queue. I don't know how you beat that.
Well, let's discuss Star Wars: Rise of the Resistance because they put seats in their queue.
I like
Yes.
Rise.
There
Rise
is
wins.
there is like an experience where you get in a shuttle and then you're walking through and
You're
see
watching
You
a
have the
spaceship.
stormtroopers.
you get stormtroopers on. You feel like you're on the set.
It's
you
so
already feel
immersive.
the line makes you feel like you're already on the attraction.
Yes.
Well, and you also, if you pay attention to like when you get into the cave portion, you see the progression of the queue. You know you're getting closer when you see more stuff in the queue.
Yeah.
So like it starts off like there's nothing in there, it's just caves, and then you like, oh, there's some shipping crates here.
It
and then all of a
builds
sudden it
slowly,
It
and-
builds
Yeah.
slowly,
And
into it.
then
And then you get thrown into the Ray room, and then you get into the space shuttle, and then you're on a Star Destroyer. It has the wow moment of like, whoa, I'm in space.
I would almost say the queue is better than the attraction.
Whoa.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
I like getting on that ship.
but it's not once you get inside.
I understand
it's
where you're coming
not
from.
a bad queue to go through. Once you get inside.
So when is it not a good queue?
When it breaks down.
Yeah. yeah.
It's not a good queue when it breaks down.
Yeah, I think we all agree on that. No one likes being stuck in a queue.
Which is your favorite queue when it's broken down?
I love Rocket Rods. I loved being in the Univision and watching the same video that's looped
the
every 8 minutes. It's gonna be shut down for 30 minutes. Oh, I'm gonna watch the bouncing car for the next,
That was
30.
the worst queue to be stuck in.
Okay,
Oh.
so are we Star Wars Rise?
Yeah.
The winner?
Rise is the
Okay.
winner.
Right. And that's kind of why it's the last one. It's that heavy Hot Wheel car that's always going to win. All right. We're on to our last group. All right. We're in Bayou Country, New Orleans Squares, and Toontown. We'll start off with Davy Crockett Explorer Canoes versus the Disneyland Rail Station of Toontown.
The canoes.
Toontown.
Toontown.
I will do Toontown.
I'm gonna do canoes.
Canoes, it's just like it's hidden, it's tucked away, it's down below.
Right, but you get in the queue and you've got the beautiful view of the river.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
If it's between night and day, during the day you definitely want to be on the canoes, and at night you definitely want to be at Toontown. Of course, the
Right.
canoes are shut down at night. So
Yeah.
it's not much competition that way. I'm canoes.
Canoes.
Yeah,
Canoes. All right. Moving on.
Yeah.
Canoes.
we all know it ain't gonna last that
It's not
long.
gonna last.
Canoes is going to win out, guys.
So many people miss the canoes. Don't miss the canoes.
All right, canoes versus.
Apparently there's no height restriction.
Nope.
So a baby could go on
Ezra can, as long as he can row.
it. Yeah.
They have to be able to row.
All right, canoes versus Disneyland Railroad, New Orleans Square.
I would say
I'm talking like Sam the Eagle.
Wait, say that
the,
again?
the New Orleans train station.
Oh, New Orleans train station.
I don't know. It's not that big a thing.
Peter's got his thing there.
I do. I've got.
You
there's
got
a lot of
the
historical,
Morse code.
and it has the original Frontierland train station there as
Yep.
well. There's, it's the same train station that they show in the Two Brothers.
Did they really?
Yeah, it's the same.
Oh,
so,
I didn't know
so like when you
that.
watch the Two Brothers,
Yeah.
like part of
Now
the
Jackie
show,
could really get in there.
Oh,
She's like,
man.
which brother do I push onto the
There's-
train?
there's
So
a part
I just
where-
need to get you guys to wear Civil War.
So,
Oh, I want to be in the casket.
So in the
yeah, exactly. They're there to pick up the dead body, and they're at the Frontierland train station.
So do they
Oh,
sing
that's
Two
great.
Brothers in
That
the
makes
new
me
Walt
love it
Disney
more.
animatronics for
That would be
Roy and
interesting,
Walt?
right?
Oh
Two
gosh,
brothers.
that's dark.
Because of Peter said that story. It's
Peter's
the New
Peter's
Orleans.
story wins.
I don't even know if I'm convinced yet. But
No,
I'm
I'm convinced. Yes.
I don't know. I find myself waiting at the New Orleans station more than I do the canoes. I'm probably more relaxed waiting at the train station, so I'll say the train station.
All right, train station moves on. All right,
Sorry, Davey.
There's benches.
New Orleans Squares Railroad versus the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh. They're
That's
just-
so
Yeah.
cute.
It's a fun.
The buzzing.
It's
the
got the
buzz.
trees are just gorgeous in that area.
It's a beautifully designed
so
area.
Fun. I love it.
All right, Winnie the Pooh wins. It's gonna go against Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
Mickey's,
Oh,
Mickey's
Mickey's.
wins.
Hands down.
I know you don't like the attraction. Do you like the queue?
The queue is better. However, I'd probably vote for Winnie the Pooh just because of
Yeah.
the natural wonders of nature, and you're also shaded by the
It
natural
is.
wonders of trees. So, but as far as Imagineering chiseled out of plaster, yeah, Mickey's is a great achievement.
I
The
love the museum. The
posters.
museum
Yes.
aspect is great. I love it. Transports you to a theater. You're in a movie theater, and you're
There's
oh,
so
we're
many
gonna
like
take it-
fun little jokes in there with like at the concession stand, and it just I love it.
Yep.
Okay. We'll move on. We have Runaway Railway versus Minnie's House. There's the meet and greet there.
Mickey's. Mickey, Minnie's.
I
Runaway
would vote
Railway.
for Mickey's
Railway.
Railway.
Yeah, probably Mickey's.
And now, in comparison to Mickey's House, does the Railway beat that too?
I don't know. I might vote for Mickey's House. A lot of fond memories
Mickey's
of Mickey's
is
House.
a lot bigger.
it's so
Yes.
immersive.
It is.
And you've got the pre-show, the cartoons rolling.
Well, it's fun to see where Mickey lives.
And you see where Mickey lives. That's better than the museum and the theater. I think Mickey's House.
I like Mickey's house.
How about you, Peter? What do you say?
I don't know.
It's
Either way, it doesn't
tough.
matter. So, but I wouldn't. Man,
It's so tough. I could go either way, but I kind of like Mickey's house.
I could. Yeah, sure. We'll go Mickey's house.
All right, we're going
I'm-
Mickey's House. Mickey's House versus Roger Rabbit's Cartoon
Oh,
Spin.
Mickey's house.
Mickey's House. I've had wonderful experiences in Roger Rabbit's, and I've had horrible, and the ones most recently have been horrible. So yes, Mickey's.
It has those false turns that make it so miserable, but it
does.
is.
It's a.
Well, it's the
very
most immersive
queue.
like cues.
I think
I think
Fast
it's
Pass
too dark
ruined
for
it.
me.
Roger Rabbit's a dark ride.
No, like the queue is so dark. I feel like I think it's a claustrophobic thing for me.
Kind of like Space Mountain.
Yeah.
I didn't
She's
know.
weak. She can't handle a tight space.
She's sitting there. She's like, "Are the walls coming in on me? I'm having a hard time breathing. Is there air?"
Well, I think they designed it before they put in Fast Passes, and now
I
that
thought you
they
said
put in
fat
Fast
people.
America was skinnier back in the 90s.
Yes.
There's statistics to prove what you're saying. Yes. But those fat people really ruined the queue. Sorry.
Sorry, yeah, I know.
Bad tangent.
But you're right. You're right. Fast Pass ruins everything.
because it made that queue too slow.
Oh, it dragged it out even longer than it had to. All right, we are now on to Mickey's House versus Tiana's Bayou Adventure.
Did we do Pirates of the Caribbean?
It's coming up.
Oh, okay.
We have not forgotten it.
New Orleans is part of this.
Oh.
It just
Now, the
hasn't
one
had
that-
a
the-
lot.
The one that surprised me we haven't talked about is Gadget's coaster.
Did I pass that one up? I didn't put it on there.
Okay.
Okay, if you want, we can do Mickey's House versus Gadgets.
Mickey's
roller coaster.
House.
Mickey's house.
Yeah.
Mickey's House. Okay, thank you. All right, Mickey.
I'm just saying, like, it wasn't brought
No,
up.
you're right, and I just didn't do it. All right, Mickey's House versus Tiana's Bayou's Adventure, formerly known as
I haven't been
I
on
haven't
it.
been on it.
Splash.
I don't know. Mickey's house is really good. Compares like
They've
Tiana's queue is
it's a step up
good.
from Splash.
It is a step up from Splash, but is it more enjoyable to wait through than Mickey's house? I think Mickey house wins.
Yeah.
in my eyes.
I would
Mickey's
bet.
House?
I would probably choose Mickey House over Splash Mountain's queue from what I've experienced.
It's not that like there's a little bit more, but there's not that much more.
Yeah,
Mickey's House is magical.
Had they designed the queue better? Yes, I think the layout of the queue is better.
If they
It's
themed
more
the ride
confined.
better.
All right, so let's go with Mickey's House winning.
Yeah.
Mickey's House versus Pirates of the Caribbean.
Pirates.
I don't know. I don't know.
I like Pirates. Pirates. I like the
think
smell of
Pirates
the
is-
water.
So the water, all right.
the you see the treasure, the
You know,
talking
the-
parrots.
It's a little plain for me though.
Whoa, it's plain.
I
You get
think
to see the blue
I
bayou in
agree.
the
Once you get in
distance.
the attraction where you're on the
Right.
boat,
The attraction's amazing.
That's
But the
amazing.
queue-
I
Yeah,
like
it's a
the
little
queue outside.
removed.
It's
I
so
like
unique how you
it.
wrap up. It's got this symmetrical. I think that's
I
really
like
cool.
I like it too.
Stairs and
But I
the-
think Mickey, if I had to give a
What?
prize, I'd give it to
I'm
Mickey's
giving it
house.
to Mickey.
Wow. Jackie is rolling her eyes, shaking in disbelief of how quickly Pirates has been disregarded. All right, let's move on to the final one.
Haunted Mansion.
The Haunted Mansion versus Mickey's House.
How did that make it to the final?
Mickey's
I was as
house.
objective as I could.
Where-
This isn't my Haunted Mansion. My Haunted Mansion's in Orlando.
Where
This is
does the
the
queue end?
the queue ends in the Doom Buggy.
Okay.
Just how like Resistance is later on.
Okay, definitely the Haunted Mansion.
I'm going
then.
Mickey's house just for spite.
You are spiteful, woman. You are so spiteful.
I'm gonna go Haunted Mansion. I think the
Thank you,
stretch,
Peter.
The stretch room.
I was about to lose it.
got the gallery.
Okay.
The
Haunted
stretch
Mansion
row.
is
Show.
better, but Mickey's.
Okay, I'll remember that. Be like, oh, we're gonna go to Haunted Mansion, Jackie. You can go to Mickey's, enjoy
I
the queue.
will.
Wait,
I will enjoy it.
I would normally consider that the queue is outside the mansion, in which case I would not vote it better. But
We're
the
still
fact
doing line management
you're-
as cast
you're-
members there.
You're immersed in it
Right.
so much, it feels like you're in the attraction. As soon as you walk through those doors,
Yep.
it is magical, total and pure magic.
Yep. Agreed.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! It's magic.
And
You
that's-
stink. Sorry, I was singing that towards Jackie
Mickey's
because
house made it a lot farther than I thought.
I was getting nervous there. I was like, boy, they really like it. Mickey's got some steam behind him, and I need the steam to go down because I knew Jackie was gonna be like, no, Haunted Mansion. All right, so we're gonna do the winners against Group 1, which was Great Moments with Lincoln, against
This list.
against Matterhorn Bobsled.
Mr. Lincoln.
Cinderella right here.
Oh boy, I haven't
Lincoln.
really compared these before. I really have to think about this.
You never
one.
had to until
my
this
ini-
podcast.
My initial gut says Lincoln.
I'm gonna say Lincoln too.
Lincoln the dark horse.
I'm going for Matterhorn.
Matterhorn.
I'm going for Matterhorn.
Thinking on it, I mean, like, there's a lot the Matterhorn has going for it. You've got the monorail that's above your head and things like that. You
But-
got the music.
It's just a switchback. That's all it is. With some yodeling music.
Hey, you can see the Yeti's foot. You can see his footprint.
Yeah.
No, Lincoln.
Lincoln.
for me.
Lincoln's better. Okay.
Yeah.
I
I would rather spend more time in Lincoln's queue than Matterhorn's queue
You're like,
without-
no. These people go beyond. I want some more yodels. Dad's got his big giant speaker, his little recording device hanging from his jacket. He's like,
Yep.
no. I got to finish this loop one more time.
You got it.
All right.
Yeah, it's like I would skip the Lincoln show to enjoy the lobby then.
There we go. All right. So Lincoln moves on to the finality of the finals. All right. So we got Tomorrowland's, and Star Wars Light, Rise of the Resistance versus Haunted Mansion. Very similar immersion into it. Who does it better?
Oh man.
Rise of
Rise.
Resistance.
For one factor alone, and I'll tell you why. It's
No,
that-
Peter. Leave us in suspense. And
Nope, that's it.
Tell us.
I'm done talking. That's it, folks. That's the podcast.
I'll tell you one reason. Not going to.
It's that moment you step off the shuttle and you're in the hangar bay looking out into space.
Yeah.
It's that moment. You hear so many people go, wow. You don't get that in Haunted Mansion.
No, because then you're like, there's another line. That's what you get
It's
when
like,
it's.
I was in front of all these people and now I'm in the back of all of them because I picked the wrong wall to stand next to.
Man, you don't know how many times I've gotten that with people all over the door, and they're just like, the line is jam packed. It's like a mosh pit, and they're just sitting there, or it's like a concert, and they're just like, I thought I was gonna get on the
And then
ride.
you get the ECV people.
It's the pure disappointment. Well, at Disney World, the ECVs
Yeah.
are
It's
somewhere
different.
else. We would load them from the exit. But yeah, I think Rise was when
I'm going Haunted Mansion.
Haunted Mansion. Why is
Yeah.
Haunted
Give us your
Mansion
pitch.
right?
I think there are gaps in Rise of the Resistance that I don't think are there in Haunted Mansion.
So Haunted Mansion is more seamless.
More seamless in the entertainment value all the way through. There's starts and stops and lags in the
That's
queue.
fair. That's fair. That's a fair argument. I can give you that.
Because the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland, I've never had a backup like it does at Disney World, to where when you get out of the stretch room, you're just walking onto the ride. And that's kind of exciting in itself.
Yeah,
Like, even though there's some really cool artwork and stuff to really take in,
right.
you'll just blow past it. But you're so excited to get onto the ride at that point that you bypass it. So it is seamless.
I like the interaction with the cast members on Rise. Like, I've had some really fun experiences, and like,
You don't like the Haunted Mansion cast members?
now they're just so down and negative for some reason.
We get paid to do that.
I know. they just
They
seem
tell
like they're
the same.
dead.
They tell the same joke. Get to the dead center of the room.
It's more complicated than that. But sure.
So that's why I'm voting for Haunted, because I
That's
think
fair. That's a
it's
fair
more
statement.
seamless.
I think you
and there are
teetered
no
Peter right
gaps.
here. So what's Peter feeling?
Oh, it's still Rise.
It's still right. Okay.
still Rise.
Let me tell you one other reason.
It's still Rise. Like,
I'm not
Again,
upset with
no,
Rise,
and-
but just weighing it, as I'd say, I'd much rather be in a Haunted.
Is
than
it more the
Rise.
nostalgia?
I mean, that's part of it. I think you can't separate your own personal nostalgia with an attraction.
Well, yeah, he had
It's-
such a visceral reaction to Roger Rabbit. He's like, I've been stuck.
I think-
Yeah, right.
I think-
that part was really there
It's
for
hard
a
because
while.
Haunted Mansion just did their cue too. But
I think one of the aspects that I think Rise does really well is throwing you, the guest, into the action. Say, you're a new recruit. You're
Yeah.
coming with us. Hurry up. Let's get on the ship. Let's go. And then the Imperial soldiers are, you guys are being detained. You guys are going into the
you're
cell.
in the story
Like,
immediately.
you are a part of it. Whereas, like, yes, you are a part of the story. You're trying to get out of the mansion, but there isn't that sense. Like, you still have that vibe of like, I'm gonna
just
go.
watching.
I'm gonna go ride the ride.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, like, I feel Rise is like they're building you up. It's like you're part of the adventure.
no,
you're
that is-
gonna help us take down the First Order.
Yeah, you don't get that
I
interaction.
just remember, like, a part of the Rise, we got onto the vehicle portion, and I was in front, like, where the droid is, and I was like, oh, you're our only hope. And the cast member was like, now you're our only hope. And I was like, jeez.
You know, one of my biggest disappointments with Rise is the Stormtrooper room, because whether I've seen it in a photograph or I'm standing there, it feels the same.
It's kind of static.
It's kind of static in that room.
Right? Could they have put a little bit more motion in some of those stormtroopers? Yeah.
You could have a couple farts going
But
off.
I
When we
still-
were standing in formations in the military, we were like, like you have to have some kind of movement.
But I still feel like that room is so grand that
The
like
room is
I'm
grand,
only
but
laughing 'cause my son's
it's
in that
kind of
stage.
static for
sure,
me.
sure, that's fair.
And again, I don't get that with Haunted Mansion.
okay.
All right, let's move on.
All right, we're in our finale. Great moments of Lincoln versus Star Wars Rise of the Resistance. I, at this point, have no clue how the vote is going to go.
This is great.
I'm kind of baffled, and this is where I'm at right now.
Rise of the Resistance.
Yeah, I'm going to go Rise.
I think Lincoln's had his day. I think it's
The
Rise.
Cinderella,
Yeah, the Cinderella
it
story
struck
of, like-
midnight. It's over.
Yeah. Yep. It's time to come back to
Two brothers
reality.
can't compete.
Right, Lincoln animatronic is leaking, hydraulic fluid and sadness that you didn't push through.
I'm still wondering whether Alice's chains beat the Rise of the Resistance. I don't know.
I knew Rise was gonna win from the beginning.
Well, it's the newest one, and they've really done a good job
Yeah.
at making a long
And that's
queue.
the hard thing with Disneyland is there's a lot of old queues, old traditional queues.
I thought
If
Rise.
they were remade, the queues would be a lot different.
I thought the
Yeah.
Rise was going to win also, but I tried to give it an honest weighing of how do I really feel.
The one that blew me was Indy. That was the one that blew me. That it didn't even last.
It was a shock.
If it was 90s, it
You're
would be
absolutely
a
correct.
whole
You're
different
right, and
vibe.
you made
It may
an
have
excellent
won.
argument, and I go, you're right. I don't take the time to look at the Indiana Jones queue anymore.
Once you get to where they stop, it's like it's not fun anymore.
There's nothing to look at.
Yeah, once you get past the
The-
center room, it's
Well-
usually where you stop. You get there and you're like, okay, well, there was some cool stuff back there, but good thing I experienced it when I was 9.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, that was fun. I kind of knew we were going to do this way, but, when I was trying to sell it, you guys were like, I don't know, we're going to talk about the line. I was like, no, trust me.
We're a bunch of Disney nerds. Of
So
course
it's like,
this is gonna be an
this is a
interesting
fun
discussion.
line question about which line is better. And we all knew deep down it was going to be Star Wars, but it was fun to hear some of the lesser talked about cues
Right.
given some time and some argument in this kind of battle, or as I call it, my Hot Wheel car race,
Right.
Next time we're going to talk about the Disneyland entrance lines. Which line is better?
Which sign? Which one is less
The one
deceiving?
closer to the hotel or the one closer to the harbor?
The one with the tree right in front of it.
No, they got rid of the tree.
I thought they put a new
Oh,
one there.
man.
No,
I thought they put a new one there.
They got
but-
rid of it.
Golly, buzzkill.
Yeah.
But okay. I forgot what I was gonna say. Let us know what your thoughts of which queue is better. Obviously, Rise of the Resistance is good. Do you think Lincoln really makes it that far?
Are
Do you
we
think?
just
Do you think we're
weird?
just weird Lincoln,
Lincoln
fans?
Do you need to spend more time in the Lincoln queue?
Are you missing something that we have come to appreciate?
You'll find out more in July when they finally reopen it.
Oh yeah.
But it won't be Lincoln. It'll
It'll be
be
partial- it'll be Walt
Disney.
I think they'll leave the waiting area the same. I don't think they'll.
They're not gonna move the big model.
You never
of the-
know.
You never know. They
You
totally
never know.
could.
They could. All right. So with that being said, you can reach out to us in our social medias and let us know again which ride you think should have gotten more attention, which queue. So with that being said, Auf Wiedersehen.
Thank you for joining us on this week's episode of the Matterhorn Yodelers. Please remember before your bobsled comes to a complete stop to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And remember,
Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.